Down in the valley where the girls get naked. If you throwing bands, then you know she gonna take it. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ty. I'm here to review Season 2, Episode 9 of P-Valley. And tonight's episode is titled Snow. But before I do that, y'all know how I do. I have to give a shout out to my lovely subscribers that hold me down in the comment section and keep this channel going and growing. Y'all been a little quiet though. Y'all, I don't be seeing the comments like I used to. And the views seem a little bit low. What's going on, y'all? Y'all, what's going on? Y'all don't love a brother no more? But anyway, let me give a shout out to my lovely subscribers, the ones holding me down. I'm talking about folks like Lamar Simpson. I'm talking about Nikki Vaughn, Karima Khadija, Quentin Baptiste, the R.C. Kroger, Tanae C, Shanita Kiana, House of Sir James, R.C. Kroger, Teef Penny, June BLC, and all the rest of you wonderful people. And listen, you too can do what? Bam! Hit that subscribe button just like that. You ain't even gotta say bam. You just hit it like that, and you'll be a subscriber. It's that easy. And leave me some cool comments down below. Let's discuss the show, because I like that. I like that. We like having fun over here on this here channel. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get right down to this review of P-Valley Episode 9, Snow. Yes. So the episode starts off with this campaign ad for Andre Watkins, and he's got the strippers and all that, but apparently the town loves booty, you know, and they love the strippers and everything because this has helped his campaign. And it looked a little ridiculous and silly, but it's helped this campaign. And as we see, you know, there's the news, they're talking about it. And, you know, they're talking about how the stripper scene has kind of helped his numbers grow and all this. So now when we left off last week, we saw that it looked like Patrice Woodbine was bribed by Corbin, and so that maybe she would be out of the race. But oh, not so fast. I thought this was funny, and I was saying to myself, is this a dream? Because it was a little ridiculous and a little over the top. But who's on a float but the saved and sanctified? The saved and sanctified Patrice Woodbine. But she's not only is she on this float, she's on a float with a pole, and she's spinning on the pole like a stripper. I said, oh, this is where Mercedes gets it from. Her mama know how to drop it too. And she's spinning around on the pole. And she said, listen, don't let him come with his stuff trying to tell you I'm the savior here. So she's like, she even blew up their spot. You know, they tried to bribe me. And she had the little, you know, guns, that the money dispenser guns, and she's using the money that Corbin tried to bribe her with. She gave it out to the townspeople. Like I said, that was a bit over the top, but it was still funny. And I was saying to myself, is this a dream? Is this somebody's dream? But that's actually what really happened. That really happened. I thought that was funny though. But she was up there like that. I said, that's hilarious. Then we saw poor Grandma Ernestine is in the hospital, still dealing with this COVID. It's not looking well for her. We've seen them trying to attend to her and trying to get her to drink water. And she did not want the water. We see her knock the water down. And I like that little segue from when the glass fell. We go into the house of Uncle Clifford. And Uncle Clifford is getting back shots from Lil Murder and their relationship. They playing house. They doing all this stuff, getting all that done. And they have this conversation. And he tells him, you know, I shouldn't be having sex in my grandmother's house while my grandmother's in the hospital. And he's like, listen, you know, Ernestine would want you to have some sausages for breakfast. So he's definitely having sausages for breakfast. Anyway, they have this conversation, and he's telling him, no, you about to go on this tour, this Tina Snow tour, and you're blowing up and all of this stuff. And he says to him, Uncle Clifford says to Lil Murder, how do you feel about, you know, this popularity that you're having, and are you, you know, a little, you know, he mentions to him, he says, you know, I'm a little scared of being this hood famous, whatever. And Uncle Clifford tells him, he says, listen, don't try to be everyone's cup of tea, because then you don't have nothing to sip on. And I like that. Don't try to be everyone's cup of tea. That's good advice. Meanwhile, that was funny. Meanwhile, I thought it was also funny when he mentioned that he wants, you know, if Grandma Ernestine passes away, he wants Lil Murder to rap at her funeral. I'm like, that's interesting. I haven't seen anyone rap. Yes, I have. I have seen someone rap at a funeral, but they got stopped. But they started rapping, and it was like, nah, look, thank you. They got him off before he could finish. But this is not about this. See, I'm always making it about me, right? Let's leave me out of this. So anyway, we also see the beautiful Haley and the beautiful Mississippi, a.k.a. Keyshawn, and they're having a conversation about her exit plan and what she plans to do. Because, you know, the grand reopening is about to happen. And so you know what the plan is. Keyshawn is to, you know, she's going to have a certain percentage of the house that night, and she's going to be one of the headliners. And once she's done, get your stuff. The kids are wherever they are, staying with a friend. We find that Derek is working somewhere now, so she's going to slip on out. And I'm like, is she going to leave this easily? Is she really going to leave this easily? That's what's going to be interesting. So meanwhile, after she has that conversation, we see her go into the kitchen to refill her water bottle, and she runs into Diamond. And you know they got a little thing going on. And as they're having their conversation, Big Bone interrupts, and she's like, I know she thirsty, but is the food ready? Because I'm hungry, you know. So like, you know, she's not liking this because she knows, she's heard all the rumors and everything, and she knows, like, listen, he's still got a little thing for this woman, and this thing probably still got a thing for him. So, you know, she's not feeling all that. And then they run into each other, and they bump into each other, something like that. We've seen this episode also. And Big Bone makes that little remark, watch where you going. And she said, we haven't met. And she's like, oh, I know all about you. And just that whole jealous thing, because, you know, she know that Diamond was messing with Keyshawn. She knows that. She says, well, it's a good thing you're leaving soon. See somebody ear hustling, because how you know that? She said, yeah, good thing you leaving soon. You know, they words travel right here. Ain't no words traveling. You in here ear hustling. You listening to everything. That's what that's about. We also see the ladies preparing for this. Now, Mercedes still has that shoulder issue, but she up here trying to practice her routine, and she's struggling up on that pole. Shoulder don't fail me now. You know, as someone said in the comments last week, I forgot who. I think that was Tanae said in the comments, like, wait a minute. Mercedes sure didn't have a problem up on the pole when she was dancing for the coach and his wife. And I was like, you're right. She wasn't struggling then. But we learned in this episode, when she goes and sees Farrah, that she was using her other side, her weaker side of her body, because she is having the shoulder pain. So I'm saying, why not use the weaker side of your body while you at the pink then to do your little moves? But anyway, she's struggling with this. Roulette, who I have to agree with, Roulette was like, listen, y'all, this going to be dangerous. I don't need her falling on me. She up here struggling. They have a few words. And it's true. You are kind of struggling, this, that, and the third. Then she has this little fit. Mercedes has this fit, gets mad, storms off, tears up the poster. I ain't doing it tonight, this, that, and the third. She has a conversation with Uncle Clifford, and she asks him, you know, is Keyshawn better than me? She's starting to feel insecure because, you know, she's an old bird feeling past her prime. She fine, though. She fine. All of them are fine. There's some beautiful women on here. Shout outs to the casting director who cast the ladies on this show, because everybody's fine. Everybody. Listen, beautiful women. So they're having that conversation, and, you know, she's struggling and dealing with this. And like, it's upsetting because, you know, she used to be able to get up on that pole and get up there and flip and slide down. But that shoulder's hurting her. But, you know, we learn, like I said, Farrah gives her a call. That's the coach's wife. And she tells her, she comes over there and, well, she texts her rather. Farrah texts her. And she goes to this beautiful art exhibit, which is displaying her up on the pole, but in a different light. It was beautiful, and that really impressed Mercedes. And Farrah even tried, you know, told her, you know, this was beautiful, this, and that, and the third. And she told her, you know, I'm about to divorce the coach, you know, and, you know, I'm sorry it ended the way it did, but I'm about to divorce him. And then she said, well, can I still F you? And what's her name said, Mercedes said, nah, that was just business, not pleasure. Then she said, well, it was a little bit of pleasure. But no, Mercedes explained there, like I said, Mercedes explained, yeah, I've been having trouble with my shoulder. I managed to pull that off because I used my weaker side to do that maneuver. So again, you should use your weaker side to pull off the pink for the reopening. But no, she's not going to do that. She's not going to be in the reopening. So, we also saw, did y'all catch Haley up in the pink throwing up? And Whisper says to her, are you ready to have twins now? Y'all know Whisper sees things and got, she, all spiritual and all that. Now, she's pregnant. Haley is pregnant. So now Haley is planning to leave too. She has this whole plan about once she's able to sell the pink and they come with this casino and she make this money, she gonna skip town. She's gonna leave town. But now the thing is, will she leave town now that she may be pregnant with Andre's baby? That's gonna be interesting right there. We also saw, gearing up to the reopening. We saw them outside. We saw the inspector, who is hilarious. I think she's hilarious. And she was about to tell them, listen, y'all are at capacity. They said, listen, we'll throw, Uncle Clifford told her, listen, we'll throw something in for you. You get to deal with Big L over here. And if you let us go to 70% capacity. And she's all for that. She's like, yeah, he fine. I'll do that. I thought that was really funny. But the funniest scene to me tonight was Uncle Clifford and Toy. When Toy coughed, Uncle Clifford grabbed her up. Get your ass up. Threw the poor girl up out of the place because he said, listen, your coughing is what got my grandmother in the hospital with this COVID. And that whole scene where people was like clearing their throat, because this is real life. Listen, when this whole COVID thing hit, we were like, listen, you ain't want to sneeze, you ain't want to cough, you ain't want to clear your throat. You're in a public space and your throat itching. You like, I shouldn't cough. I don't want to do nothing because I don't want nobody to think I got the COVID. And that is so true. I remember being in a public spot and I was like, I was holding that coughing for dear life because I was like, I don't want nobody thinking I got this COVID thing. Please, please. So that scene was very funny and relatable. And then she got tossed out. The poor girl got kicked out. She can't make no money. Poor Toy told us, she said, listen, she's crying to Whisper and Roulette, who I'm really growing to love. I'm really liking that character. I'm really liking her. I don't know who she reminds me of. She looks like somebody I know, but I like that character. So anyway, she's explaining to Whisper and Roulette how she about to get evicted. They're going to repossess her car. She ain't got no money. She was looking forward to this night. And I didn't give her this thing. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did kind of give her the COVID, whatever. And so she's crying. And what's her name? Roulette was like, girl, you about to be broke. I don't know what to tell you. You about to be broke. But then Whisper was like, help her out. So Roulette gave her some money and said that, ain't a gift, that's a payment. So I think she gonna be a part of the little whole business they got going on, selling coochie for the, doing, a little strange thing for some change. I think now she gonna be a part of that. Like, here, you work for me now. Now you go and flip it and do what you gotta do for a couple of dollars. That's what I think is gonna happen with that. Now, Lil Murda decides he wants to help Uncle Clifford out by making this announcement that not only is that his tour with Tina Snow, a.k.a. Megan Thee Stallion, and that's her alter ego, Tina Snow, and I thought that was cool that they had her playing Tina Snow with her fine self. All these beautiful women, I'm liking this. Tina Snow is going to make her debut, not her debut, she's going to stop over at the Pink and perform with Lil Murda. And that whole interaction, I love when they walked in and he had that red coat thing and she was dressed up, whatever. That was fly. That was cool. But their interaction was funny. Tina Snow looked like she might be interested in Lil Murda. But see, Uncle Clifford wasn't feeling that a little bit. You seen him get a little jealous in that scene or whatever. But then Lil Murda got jealous when he heard that Uncle Clifford got called to the, what's that room? The Paradise Room. He's like, since when you getting calls to the Paradise Room? And Uncle Clifford was like, listen, that's a room known to turn people out. I said, oh, Lord, what's going to happen here? When he gets in the room, it's Corbin. And I'm like, okay, what is this? I'm thinking they're going to talk business. Corbin is a freak. Corbin in here getting whipped like he's on roots or something. I said, I don't understand that. That's a fetish that I don't get no judgment, but I don't understand that. Why you wants to be whipped, but he's letting Uncle Clifford whip him. I was like, that's a little crazy right there. I'm like, but you know, that's their thing right there. Meanwhile, we see Roulette getting a little finger action in the hallway. You know, the show always got some little freaky stuff going on. So So Tina Snow is performing. You got Keyshawn up here spinning and twirling. You got Roulette. You got the ladies doing their thing. Everybody's having a good time. It's also election night. We got to figure out if Andre's going to win this election. There's a lot going on. A lot going on in this episode. They're building the tension. And then you see Maine. That's his name, right? Maine and the gang. I don't know what the gang's name is. But, you know, last week, Lil Murder, who's really a little murderer, killed Pico. So Pico's people is up in this club staring and ice grilling. I said, oh, Lord, what's going to happen? Y'all going to turn the place out again? Y'all going to mess up the reopening? Come on, y'all going to mess this up? So as all of that is going on, a fight breaks out. And I mean, it's a big fight while Lil Murder's on stage and the people are acting up. See, all that craziness. And poor little Keyshawn is down there. She's so timid. She's down on the floor just scared. But here comes Diamond to the rescue. He's got his gun out. He's ready. He's knocking dudes over. And he rescues Keyshawn, you know, like the damsel in distress that she is. And they lock eyes. And they kiss. But guess what? Big Bone saw the kiss. Big Bone saw the kiss. And you know, this Big Bone is a bit of a mystery to me. And I'm thinking there's more to her than what they're letting on. And I don't know. I think this is going to be a problem. Because you saw how she was looking. She looked quite disappointed and quite upset. That's going to be a serious problem. So all of that gets cleared up. Diamond and security clear that up. They make sure the gang is outside and all that stuff. But meanwhile, Lil Murder and Uncle Clifford have a conversation. And this was a good conversation because he kind of tells Uncle Clifford about, you know, what he did, you know, the shooting up a Pico. And Uncle Clifford is like, listen, you're going to need some security. You might have to take Diamond or something on the road with you or something because this is going to be serious. And they, you know, they're having this conversation about all of this. And then Little Murder kicked over something, and then Uncle Clifford kicked over something, and bam, found the drugs. Found the drugs that Big L has been smuggling into the club or whatever. And so Uncle Clifford goes over to Big L, and they have an argument about this. He said, I told you, listen, I don't want that. And this is a booty place. This ain't no drug place. We in the business of booty. We not in the business of the drugs, okay? He said, nah, we not doing that. Say no to drugs. He said, nah, we not doing that. That coke, crack, whatever this is, we don't want. The only crack we want is booty crack up in here. Nothing else. None of this stuff. So they have their argument back and forth. And he says, you know what? You're fired, Big L. Big L said, I'm fired. All that I did for you and the people that's around, you know what? And he said, you know what? I quit. And then you could tell that Uncle Clifford was a little upset about that. Him and Big L have a good relationship. I think they'll blow off steam and then they'll work these things out, you know. But Big L was like, listen, you letting people take what's yours and all that. Listen, look. And did he imply that maybe they should kill Haley? Was that me? Is that what he said? He said something like, you know, if she was dead, we wouldn't have this problem. I don't know. I thought I heard that. Y'all help me in the comments if that was said. But anyway, that happened. He leaves. And then the phone rings and he gets a call from the hospital. They don't quite tell us what the call is, but I'm assuming that Grandma Ernestine has gone on to see the king, but we don't know this. We don't know this. We'll find out next week's episode. So meanwhile, Keyshawn is in the dressing room and she writes on the mirror, you know, I'll love you forever. Whatever she wrote, like her farewell goodbye. And her and Uncle Clifford have a conversation, and he tells her, don't you ever bring your beautiful self in here again. That was his way of saying goodbye to her. And they hug. They do this embrace. And so, you know, as he's sitting there, they're like, oh, the show must go on. So the episode ends with a to be continued, because there's more that's going to happen. So this episode really built up the tension for us. But I guess in next week's episode, which is the season finale, we're going to see some, some things come to head. This thing, clearly, Lil Murda and what's his name? Maine, they're going to clash. That's going to happen. We saw that young lady, Pico's baby mama, saying, listen, I know he has something to do with this, that, and the third. And then y'all see Big Bone sitting out there on her motorcycle, staring at the pictures of her and Diamond and looking at the pendant. And I'm like, yeah, she might do something. She might seek some revenge, So we have to see what's going to happen. But overall, I thought it was a good episode. They built up the tension for me. I was like, what's going to happen? And it looks like we got to wait till next week for the season finale to see what's going to go on. But that's all I got for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.